What's going on, y'all? Got a lot of shit to talk about tonight. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Salute, Rail the Future. Salute to you, bro. In the building early. Hit that like button for your boy so we can get this train rolling. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about the show from last night from Triller. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like they was just all over the place with Triller last night. And we got to talk about Regis Prograis and his fight with Ivan Redcash. However, that was a strange situation. Tony Harrison, and of course Demetrius Andrade. And then we go, of course, talk about Errol Spence Jr. Because a lot of my guys came at me like, Bushido, you went kind of soft on Spence. You on your last video, you took it easy on him. You threw a softball. We want to see them hard balls from the boy Bushido. So, and I was thinking about it, and his fans kind of pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? His fans pissed me off today. So yeah, we gonna cook on him. But yeah, what we seen yesterday. Salute to everybody in the building. Dwan Cortez, Dennis Sims, Demone Daniels. Salute, man. I mean, we got a lot to talk about, man. You know what I'm saying? Quite a bit. I ain't gonna hold you too long, but we got a lot to talk about. But first, let's get the bullshit out the way. Was the fix in last night in that fight between Jake Paul and Ben Askren? Was the fix in? Was it a fix, or was it just a situation where Ben Askren just went in there just to get paid? You know what I'm saying? Because that's sad. You know what I'm saying? He got paid his highest career payday, but he went in there and just completely disrespected, in my opinion, he disrespected the whole combat sports world. The guys that really putting in the work, the guys that still got to work the 9 to 5s just to make ends meet. He totally just disrespected the whole combat sports world by going up in there and letting this kid mollywop him like that. You know what I'm saying? Just total disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ever see Ben Askren again. Jake Paul said he wants to fight Nate Diaz, one of the Diaz brothers next. That should be pretty funny. Nick Diaz or Nate Diaz will beat the shit out of that dude. Hey, I'm all in with that one. Because we know Nate Diaz gonna come to fight, and he's gonna beat the shit out of him. Jake Paul's on his high horse. He think he's some elite boxer now. On one part of me can't hate on him. You know what I'm saying? But then on the other end, it's like, you ain't all that, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't all that. Then he gonna be talking about he the face of boxing. You're gonna start hearing a lot of that bullshit soon. But let's just get off the bullshit. Let's talk about what Triller's doing. How do you guys feel about what Triller is doing? For me, last night, they seemed like they was kind of all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like they was kind of over the place. It wasn't really, it was ghetto as a motherfucker. Okay, just to be blunt. It was ghetto as a motherfucker. And it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg really was carrying everything. All those other guys, Alex Bernstein was cool. It was cool seeing him hanging out with Snoop and trying to be cool with the guys. That was pretty cool. But I don't know who any of those other dudes was. You know what I'm saying? Oscar De La Hoya was up on stage high as hell. You know what I'm saying? It was like a big party, a bunch of motherfuckers, and it was just some fights going on. It was crazy as hell, but I think Thriller might be on to something. Of course, they're going to have to tweak a few things. You know what I'm saying? To probably make it more appeasable to actual boxing fans. But if they was trying to gather some type of casual hip hop audience or whatever the case, then they done well with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think Triller's going to be here to stay. I think a lot of fighters are going to be looking at Triller to put up some fights. They throwing a bag on the table for these dudes. So yeah, that's just what that is with Triller. I think it's going to be around for a little while. We'll see how long. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg, I think he's going to be the one kind of carrying that shit because everybody likes to hear Snoop. And, it's just his analysis and everything. It's cool. Salute to everybody in the building. What's good, All Stop Sports? Amanda Royal, salute. Let's see. What he say here? Demone Daniel says, I like it because they're willing to pay to get big fights. Give them time to get together. Yeah, give them time. You know what I'm saying? We just got to give them time. You know what I'm saying? They putting up real fights. They giving us these weird fights, too. I seen Bosco. I don't know if y'all know who Bosco is. I guess he's some popular dude out west in California, some street dude. He was fighting. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere and shit. Had headgear on shit. fighting with his old ass. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? They just having anybody fight. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna start seeing some crazy ass fights. I heard Lamar Odom supposed to be fighting Aaron Carter from the Nick Carter's brother or some shit. You remember back in the early 2000s, them boy bands and shit. You know what I'm saying? I guess he's supposed to be fighting Lamar Odom. So they got some crazy fights going on and shit, man. They might be on to something. But let's get to some real boxing, right? Let's talk about some real boxing because let's start with some more bullshit. Let's get rid of the bullshit first. And the bullshit is what Ivan Redcash was doing. Okay? That shit Ivan Redcash was doing was bullshit. I mean, I don't know what was he thinking. I don't know what was he. I don't know what Redcash was on. Like what was you on, bro? Hold up. Yeah, what was you on, dog? Like, he didn't even really hit you for real. So what happened? We've seen this quite a bit lately with these from some of these fighters, y'all. These dudes looking, they seem to find a way out. And we know when the guys are, we know when it's real, and we know when it's an acting job going on. I mean, how you go from your hand to holding your balls to pounding on the ground to getting up acting like it's your hand again? I didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even get hit with a real shot, but maybe Regis Prograis was really turning it on, and he was looking for a way out. I'm actually surprised he was looking for a way out. I mean, this is a guy, he'd been in there with some dudes. You know what I'm saying? And he was just looking for a way out, man. Rougarou was a monster. But I feel like a lot of these guys, before I continue on, I feel like a lot of those dudes they just seemed like they were just rusty or something. Like they just, like a lot of the guys, like Tony Harrison, Andrade, they didn't look good. You know what I'm saying? They did not look good at all. Oh, wow. All-Star Sports says for only their second event, I think they're doing a good job. Word on the street, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. I think they'll tighten up a few things each card. Yep, that's what they got to do, bro. Tighten up some things. You know what I'm saying? But 1.3 million buys, bro. You know what I'm saying? 1.3. Like, I mean, the only thing I really can say I didn't like was those performances. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? I necessarily didn't have a problem with it, but I just didn't like it. Like, I'll just go do something else while they sit there for 20 minutes playing those songs and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a little too long for me. You know, it'd already be late as it is. And, you know, you got us watching these music videos. I guess they cater into that audience, but that's one thing I just didn't really care for too much was, you know, those extra long ass performances and shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? Amanda Royale says, salute Bushido. Triller trying to put pressure on everybody. Hopefully they can get it together a little bit and really create something. I think they will. You know, this is only the beginning. They still, getting shit together. It's going to only get better from here on out if they're really serious about it. You know what I'm saying? They go start having all kinds of celebrities into boxing. And it's going to only do nothing but bring more eyes to boxing for people to be interested in who's the real boxers. So we'll see what happens, man. It should be interesting. You know, Triller might be here to stay. Salute Drizzy KO. He says the new narrative is that Ennis would be the biggest threat to Spencer Crawford would be forgotten. That's what they're saying now? That's what they're saying now, huh? Man, the Spence fans are a real piece of work. I'm going to get on them, man. I'm going to get on them, man. They made me mad today. Salute, bro. Horse. Salute, bro. Amanda Royale says, I was more disappointed with Tony than Andrade's. I can see the ring rust in Andrade, but Tony was a complete letdown. No excuses. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to start with Tony because Tony, he hasn't fought since his last fight with Jamel, right? He hasn't fought since then. His father wasn't in his corner. He was fighting a southpaw, and they say he don't like fighting southpaws. I find that funny that Tony Harrison, for a guy that's been boxing his whole life, you never really got no work with no southpaws, bro. Like, was really good, but he looked it really bad last night. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of Tony Harrison, but I could be totally honest with you. He looked it bad, and that's okay. You know, you some days you have bad days at work. Not everybody could be a fucking Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a bad night in the office, man. He arguably lost that fight against Perella. You know what I'm saying? Perella had a good game plan. Roy Jones was in his corner. That's all the motivation most people need. You know what I'm saying? And he fought a hell of a fight. And he arguably should have got the victory. You know what I'm saying? Tony Harrison just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. He didn't switch up the speed on his shots. Everything when he did, try to put something together, it was all just the same speed, fast and hard. It wasn't anything, like he just didn't look good. He was trying to force it too much. It was a really bad performance for Tony Harrison, and he didn't do anything to state his case of getting another shot at Jamel Charlo with that performance, man, because he arguably lost against that guy. He got to give draw, man, and that's just the honest truth. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the layoff affected him. A lot of things could have affected him. Maybe he just wasn't feeling it that night. Tony Harrison just didn't look good, man. He normally looks really good against those type of guys. Guys that we expect him to beat. He normally looks really good, but he just didn't look good. He said, "Nah, leave Spence alone today." Oh man, I'm gonna have to get him, man. What was he on with Buddy, man? He said Tony is done. Aftermath, why you think Tony's done? I don't know, man. I don't think Tony. I don't know. I don't think he's done, but he just didn't look good. He didn't look good at all, and he really should have, most of us felt he should have beat that guy, but it is a 154-pound division. One of the most competitive divisions in boxing, you know what I'm saying? So we also got to look at that. It's the 154-pound, I don't know. I don't want to make it look like I'm giving excuses for the guy, but in reality, you do have bad nights. I mean, bad days at work. You know what I'm saying? It was a bad night for Tony Harrison. He damn near lost that fucking fight, man. He says, you might be right. He might be done. I mean, hey, y'all might be right, man. I don't want to, man, you might be right, bro. He really lost to me. Yeah, man. I mean, fuck. Demone Daniels, I mean, shit. Yo, we got a special guest. My man, YSM Sports Media has entered the building. What's up, bro? Everybody subscribe to his channel, man. He is going to take over.
What's good, man?
What up, man? Yeah, we just talking about the we had Tony Harrison right now, but we could backtrack a little bit. What you think about the Triller fight with Ben Askren and Jake Paul? What you think about that?
This wasn't as good as the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones event.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was a little sloppy. Music, the concerts took a little bit too long. I even read Cash Shat the bed. The matchups weren't that good. It wasn't. On paper, Pro Grade versus Red Catch was supposed to be, a knockdown, drag out. Somebody was going to get, basically Red Catch was supposed to get put to sleep while putting forth effort. But no, that joke was a dud, yo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a pretty bad fight, man.
They better rebound with Tio versus Camboso because two back-to-back poor performances and it's a wrap.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people saying that fight was fixed between Paul and Askren, man.
I wouldn't put it past it. Jake Paul is a draw, man. Ben Askren showed up looking like one of us.
Mm-hmm. Looking like dad. Shit. Looking like dad and shit. Oh my God. Just let's get to some boxing. Let's get to the boxing because we got to get on Spence. But Tony Harrison, what happened?
Yo, is it over?
That's what I'm asking, bro. Is it over for Tony Harrison? Aftermath White think he's done.
Might be, yo. He might be. He didn't look good. His legs didn't look sturdy. It could have been a layoff. So I'm going to say that. It could have been a layoff.
Right.
Because he didn't look sharp. His punches didn't have snaps. Leg didn't look sturdy. Got tired toward the end. So it could have been just that. Or factor in his dad passing. and Charlo stopping him, and all his 3 losses, he's been stopped. It just might not be in him anymore.
Yeah, man. That might be the reality of the situation. He may not got that killer edge, you know. He may not got that, you know, he just didn't look like Tony Harrison. Like, he looked at way better against the Charlo. You know what I'm saying? He looked at way better against Charlo.
There comes a point where you just may not want to get punched anymore.
Yeah, man. He may want to be really training kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? He may want to really
that's what he's been doing?
Oh, yeah. He's a trainer out there. He really likes to do that shit. Even in camp, he's training kids. So, yeah, I expect to see Tony Harrison as a trainer in the next 10, 15 years anyway. But, yeah, I mean, he may not have that. I don't know. You know, maybe it could be a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Rust, his father passing, you know, just couldn't, you know, the southpaw guy, a little tricky.
He looked like if it had been anybody else but Perella, because, you know, this is his first fight at 54. So if it had been anybody else, a natural 54, they would stop him last night.
Oh, that was his first fight at 54?
That's his first fight at 54, bro. He's a 47.
My God. Wow. Wow. Y'all hit that like button for your boy in the building. Wow, I didn't know that, bro. But yeah, man, Tony, I don't know. He didn't help his case of getting another title shot, I'll tell you that. You know. But I mean, go back to the drawing board, see if you still got it. I don't know. I don't want to write him off as he's done after just one bad performance coming off a layoff. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But
every performance off of these layoffs, we have to question: is it them now, or is it the layoff? Because COVID really did a number on boxing, especially. It's guys that have a year and some change, 2 years layoffs, and it's not even the promoter's fault or the fighter's fault.
Amanda Royale says the motivation not gone for Tony. She says, I hope the motivation not gone for Tony. Yeah, I mean, that's what we just saying. Like, it looked like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say.
We have to see him in another fight. Like, Al gave him, this is supposed to be a showcase fight. He didn't look good. Can be honest, right? Who has looked good in their 5 showcase fights coming off this layoff?
Nobody.
How many flat performances have we seen from just fighters in general?
A lot of fighters look flat. A lot of fighters. The young fighters looking strong and spry. But a lot of the guys like in their 30s, they just ain't. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you. Look, let's get to Andrade, man. What happened with Boo Boo last night? Was Liam Williams just that good? Is Boo Boo maybe he needs to move up, or is it because of the fact that he's been fighting these type of guys for so long, he got kind of stale? What is it?
All three. Yeah, he beat. All right, so I don't subscribe to guys moving up just because. Like, we have a friend, his name's Frederick, and he's the best. Fight the best. Yeah. So Fred wants guys to just move up in weight just because a good fight is up there, and I don't subscribe to that. You have to move up when your body's ready, or when your skills say that you're ready. The problem is that 160 sucks.
Yes, it does.
160's ass. Like, okay, outside of Charlo and outside of Andrade, there's nobody that you want to see fight. That big drama show shit is dead. So there's nobody that you want to see fight. And if they're not going to fight, and you still got to wait for the guys at 154 to move up, then you might as well just go ahead and move up to 68. And I will only move up if I got a guarantee. Like, okay, I'm fighting Jacobs. I'm fighting Callum Smith. I'm fighting Billy Joe Saunders. Like, I need a guarantee.
Right.
But this Luke Keeley, Figgy Butts, or whoever. Like, who was the dude last night? Liam Williams. Like, come on, man. That shit ain't cutting it, bro. He's 33 years old.
Right. Yeah, man. He's 33 years old, and it looked like it may be starting to show. Demetrius Andrade, to me, got a young man style. He got a real young man style. He did a lot of moving around, and he got tired as fuck in that fight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to take nothing away from Liam Williams because, like I said before, sometimes it's the guys that you never heard of or the guys you think that don't have a chance. They may come up in there and really show up and show out. You know, determination and will can take you really far in the fight game. Yeah, this dude may be faster, stronger, better than me, but my heart and my determination will get me through this motherfucker. And that's what we seen with Liam Williams. It looked like he didn't want to get up after he got dropped in the second round, but he ended up getting up and he kept pushing forward. And Demetrius Andrade was getting tired, and they seen that, and they was pushing the pace on him. It was a good fight, though. You know what I'm saying? It was a good fight because we seen Demetrius Andrade really pushed, even though it was against a guy that we didn't expect to really push him. Some guys had it a 50-50 fight, but we seen Demetrius Andrade tested. We seen his heart tested. We seen him just really in a bad night. It was a bad night for him. You know what I'm saying? He was really, really exhausted. You know what I'm saying? He had to push through that motherfucker.
I have an idea that may work for Demetrius Andrade versus Jamal Charlo. And I don't know if they'll do this. Their egos could stand this. But Caleb Plant is looking to fight Canelo Alvarez later on in the year. Right? So that's going to be a co-promotion between TGB, a.k.a. Al Heyman, and Eddie Hearn, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how they're going to work out the network deal, but throw Andrade versus Charlo on the undercard. You're already going to do a deal where you may have to split the costs to promote this fight and to stage this fight.
Right.
So put Andrade versus Charlo on there. Neither one of those have proven to sell. You know Canelo versus Plant is going to sell. And if you add Andrade versus Charlo, that's only going to boost, I would say, by at least 100 to 200,000 buys, which would pay for their purse.
Yep. That's a good idea. This fight for Andrade could be a gift or a curse for him. It could be a good thing for him. Him having a really bad night. That could be a good thing. Maybe now he could, you know, there'll be a little bit more, you know, maybe some guys will come calling. He looked like he was vulnerable. Maybe I could exploit some things I saw in that fight. Because he looked vulnerable as hell in that fight.
When hasn't he looked vulnerable? Like the last 2 or 3 years.
But it's weird with him. You don't know if that's his style because he looks super loose, super relaxed, super loose. You don't know if he's like hurt. You don't know if he's like, you don't know really like nothing. So it's hard to say. He's all off balance. He's kind of awkward. You know what I'm saying? He's weird. His style is weird as fuck. So I really don't know. I don't. Maybe if they had an interview, he'll explain what happened. But if he was in there with a Charlo, he would have got to knock the fuck out. To be blunt, if Charlo was pressing him like that, if that was Charlo's game to really press guys like that, he'll get Andrade with some of that shit he was doing. He would have got.
I can see it. I was impressed by Andrade's uppercut. That was a punch I've never really seen him throw consistently, and he was twerking that thing.
Bro, he threw the tanker cut because that's that tank uppercut. I'm just calling it the tank. He threw that motherfucker like it was a jab.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He kept throwing it like it was a jab. I'm like, I don't know if you want to keep doing it, but it was working. Dude couldn't stop it. You know what I'm saying? But he kept coming, and he didn't really seem to get tired at all, that Liam Williams guy. He's a strong ass gatekeeper.
Damone Daniel says Andrade just doesn't fight enough. It's caught up with him. I mean, yeah,
it's a lot of things, bro. You're right.
But it's a lot of dudes that haven't fought It's like, okay, so COVID started in what, March? March
Mm-hmm.
of 2020, right? And basically, we didn't have a fight card till June or July, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a whole bunch of cards postponed and pushed back because regulations was changing. Oh, we're back open. No, no, we're shut down. Back open. No, we're shut down. So it was a lot of that. So it was a lot of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Stop Sports says when Billy Joe had a few bad performances, that's when Canelo started calling. Facts. Facts. Facts.
Yeah, I got a question though, Stop. When's the last time Billy looks like he's looked good? Like you said,
David
a few
Lemieux.
bad performances.
David
It's
Lemieux,
been like
bro.
3 years of this shit.
Bro, he hasn't looked good since David Lemieux, bro.
I'm a Billy fan too. Bushido will tell you I'm a Billy fan,
I
but
don't like
bro,
Billy.
he's fought dudes like people get on Charlo for his resume. Billy Joe started off strong. Billy Joe hasn't fought anybody in 3-4 years, yo.
He's been saving himself for this moment here. It's coming up. That's all he's been doing. It's a game. Told you go watch fucking Snatch, bro. But yeah. Patrick says Andrade is another hype job. Is he a hype job? Is he? Is he? You know what I'm saying? Because if he was a hype job, Canelo would have fought him at 154 years ago. If he was a hype
That
job.
that's a term used too much. It's undefeated for a reason. And he's fought solid guys, but never the names. Like Willie Nelson was a solid guy. Vanis Matarosian was a solid guy. Avantes Fox was a solid guy. No,
Right.
they don't have the name pizzazz or the sizzle, but they were solid fighters. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just that he hasn't been able to get the marquee fights. So I can't call him a hype job, but I can't call him elite either. It's like we don't know.
Mm-hmm. We gotta see. He might need to move up. Yeah, man. Only fight he looked good was in David Lemieux, man. He looked phenomenal in that fight, bro. Billy Joe Saunders would be almost anybody in that weight range that night. I don't think nobody would have beat that Billy Joe at middleweight that night. That motherfucker looked good. He said, no, he's not a hype that I attribute to ring rust. Probably, man. Fighting these guys, you know what I'm saying? Fights this hard to kind of get motivated for. You just kind of going through with the motions. You're 33 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're fighting a Liam again. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit, man. But, he got through it, though. He landed a lot of his power punch. It was just a weird, sloppy kind of, like, it was a weird fight. They was wrestling and shit, and, you could tell it was a lot of bad blood. You know what I'm saying? But you could tell the respect started the game between each other as the fight went on. It was a real fight. It was a lot of bad. It was crazy. It was crazy. Motherfuckers falling all out through the ropes and shit. Like, it was all kinds of shit going on.
There's definitely a lot of Liams over there.
Yeah.
I had no idea. It's a
Salute, King
plethora,
David. Salute to you, King David, in the building. Yeah, man.
plethora of Liams.
Yeah, Liams and Callums.
Yeah, I'll be mixing up. They be like, yeah, Callum Johnson. And I'll be like, wait, is that the one at 68? No, it's the one at 75. I'm like, oh, okay.
And see, that's why I didn't want it to sound like Damone Daniels. I didn't want it to sound like I was making excuses, but we were just trying to see what was going on. Maybe it could be a lot of things. So we got to also look at it like these guys are human. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he had to take a shit. You know what I'm saying? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Damone, it's all right. So there's a fine line between excuses and reasons when you analyze what's going on. Okay, so a lot of fighters have injuries before fights and whatnot, and there are extenuating circumstances to less than stellar performances, but he still won. You know what I mean? He won the fight, so that's the most important thing. But there's going to be reasons to why you're not 100%, or why basketball, why you didn't drop 40, why you only dropped 17 and shot bad.
Oh, is that Art Man Boxing? Is that you? Hold
Is
up,
that
man. Wait, hold up. Yo, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to see what's
Is
going
that
on.
Art,
Look at these comments real quick. Yeah, is that
is
Art Man? Or is
Art
that
Man the
somebody?
Brit Slayer? I think that might be him, yo.
Yeah, I think he wants to hop on in, man. He got a lot to tell us about this shit. The Wilder shit. He know a lot about that. Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button for your boy. But yeah, Boo Boo Andre looked vulnerable, man. If he was in there with Charlo, he would have got beat up. But maybe it's time for him to move up and weight too. I mean, motherfucker fighting at 160, 33 years old.
He's the longest human being I've ever seen at middleweight, bro.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
It's amazing that Keith Thurman fought him in the amateurs.
Mm-hmm. He says, you're right. There are reasons. Damone Daniels says, you're right. There are reasons, but I looked at Andre as a potential elite fighter, and last night didn't support that at all. Yeah, I agree, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I mean, it was a bad night. It's a bad night. That's all I can say. Not everybody could be Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? You know, Terrence Crawford had somewhat of a bad night with Mean Machine. It happens, bro. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence had a closer one with Sean Porter when everybody was saying he was an in shape street fighter. Sean Porter showed up and showed out and arguably won that fight.
The Big Fish?
Yeah, the Big Fish.
Hey, yo, can I cook real fast?
Yes,
or
go ahead
we
cook,
ain't ready
man.
to cook on the Big Fish?
Yeah, we go ahead cook on the Big Fish because, yeah, we go ahead cook on them, man. What you got to say about the Big Fish, man?
All right, so the Big Fish is a hypocrite, right? And most boxers are. For me, I've noticed hypocritical tendencies between like dudes like Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford. But the Big Fish, man. So he was upset when he was a prospect challenging Keith Thurman. And that Keith Thurman didn't give him the time of day. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So much that when Terrence Crawford, mind you, not a prospect, the undisputed junior welterweight champion, undisputed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how rare that is. Jumps up, he tells the undisputed junior welterweight champion. And I keep saying that because I want to put emphasis on it. That, oh no, he has to do something. He has to win a belt. Okay, that's like telling Andre Ward moving up from 168 to 175. Kovalov like, no, you got to win a belt. We wouldn't have went for that. Mm-hmm. But somehow now we're going for it. Okay, cool. Terrence Crawford gets his belt. Still more excuses. And I understand the side of the street, the business. I get all that. Spence is the A side, and deservedly so. But he kept coming up with a new excuse. These are facts, not conjecture. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he was that prospect trying to challenge the champion. And then you see him on live with Jaron Ennis telling him, oh, you was a little pup. But you was a little pup with Keith. Mm-hmm. You got all bent out of shape. Cried for years. Whined and bitched. And now you going to do something? You're going to do the same thing 2 other times to two guys at different points in their career? It sounds like you just don't want to fight a threat. And I'm not saying Sean isn't a threat, but with Sean, Danny, Mikey Garcia, and Kell Brook, there are certain obvious deficiencies. Kell Brook, face was broke, coming down from 2 weight classes. Mikey Garcia moving up 2 weight classes. Sean Porter, you've seen him being beat by the elite welterweights. Danny Garcia, you've seen him be beat by the elite welterweights.
Yep.
You ever see Bud BB?
Nope.
You ever see Boots?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
We seen Keith beat, but it was close. You know what I'm saying? It was close. Keith Thurman was coming on, and in the end, he turned up too late. And that was an inactive Keith. Spence don't seem to want to fight anybody that you got to figure out how to beat him. Guys that's undefeated and shit like that. How many undefeated fighters he fought? Not many. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying,
go ahead.
If you gonna tell the prospect something that you gotta prove yourself. You're a little dog. Bud don't gotta prove himself.
Right. So
like which one is it? You can't tell the undisputed guy he has to prove himself at the lower weight class. He doesn't.
I guess in this new age of boxing, you do though, bro. In the new age today, Bud got to fight Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, and Goku at the same time before he fight Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what it is, bro. That's how they do it now. And it's going to be the same thing with Deron Ennis. He's not going to fight Errol Spence. Not going to fight Deron Ennis, people. I mean,
the same dudes that would okay that shit is the same guys that want Charlo to move up and fight Benavidez, right?
Yep.
But they want Tank to move up and fight Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. No, Tank should prove himself at 35 first. He should get a belt before he can get Lomachenko. See how stupid that sounds?
Yep.
It's fucking stupid.
Yep. Yep.
It's supposed to be, okay, you the best at that weight class? I'm the best at this weight class. What's up? I'm sorry, you go ahead, bro. I'm that situation just got
me. Yeah. But it's really with when he was talking with Deron Ennis, it's the same thing we've seen before. You know what I'm saying? He did the same thing with Bud. He said this, that, and the third. He said on camera when to make it look good. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, it's gonna be this drawn out process or this stalling or this situation to where there's hurdles put in front of the fight. Deron Ennis is not gonna get an opportunity to fight Errol Spence Jr. unless the IBF mandates it. That's just what it is. And I'm sure deep down, Deron Ennis probably feels that. He knows that Errol Spence Jr. If he didn't want to fight Crawford, what makes you think he wants to fight me? You know what I'm saying? I feel that I'm better than Crawford in every way. And I'm younger. You know?
To be honest with you, he's more physically gifted than Crawford. So the same, Crawford had experience. Of course, in his brain, Boots' brain isn't quite to where Bud's is, of course. Bud's been through a lot of fights. But the same problems that Bud presents for Spence, that's what Boots presents in a bigger package. So yeah, you're right. He don't want that fight.
Nah, man. He was just saying it because his boy Beezy was there, and Gilly the Kid was on the horn. So yeah, of course he was gonna make it sound good, for the hip hop community. But in reality, nah, man, because he was on a Breakfast Club talking about fighting Bud. Remember all the video interviews and shit they had back in the day? You know what I'm saying? Look what happened. Nothing. So it's gonna be the same. Errol Spence Jr. don't want to fight nobody that could possibly beat him. Everybody that he fought, he had majority of the advantages going into that fight. Period. I don't know if this is just coincidence or it was just by design. Kell Brook just so happened. I mean, it's just crazy.
Coming for you, Bushido.
Who coming? Where they at?
Look at the comment, Brew Horace.
Yeah. Oh, that's my boy, man. He said, "Hey, man, Bud is in camp now, so we'll find out what's going on." You know what I'm saying? Hey, he's a Spence guy, man. That's his guy. He's around with the big fish.
The big fish up.
Yeah, man. A big fish all day. He fucks with the big fish, man.
Hey, yo,
we got though, bro.
We got a whale hunter in Philadelphia that's eyeing the big fish, Brew Horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Errol Spence got some dogs on him. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying? He ain't gonna fight none of them. I
and
don't think he's gonna
he
fight
ain't
none of them,
dancing
bro.
with rappers. He ain't partying with rappers. He ain't clubbing and all that. He's in the gym, and he's out for blood.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Out there doing the war with his mans. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, guys like Boots and Bud in a gym. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Not making just staying in the fucking gym. Not playing around, hanging out with rappers and shit. I ain't saying don't live. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, when you got guys like Crawford and Boots and Virgil Ortiz, it's just so many guys where you know what I'm saying? You gotta be on top of your shit. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think Errol Spence Jr. is gonna be fighting Boots, Bud, or Keith. None of that. He gonna get these belts from Ugas. Ugas been doing nothing but chilling. You know what I'm saying? He gonna go up in there and pretty much sell his belt to Spence, and Spence gonna run around with 3 belts.
Whoa. I gotta stop you right there. So I'm gonna pull another hypocrite point. So
Okay.
the same dude that said he don't care about belts can't feed his family. You ask him, well, why you gonna fight Ugas over a Bud, a Jerron Ennis? And he'll tell you, oh, well, Ugas got a belt. Wait, what? You finally got something I want. You just said you don't care about belts. If you don't care about belts, then it don't matter, right? He don't have something that you want because you don't care. Oh, no, my bad. He's a dude with 4 losses. So he's an easy pick. Okay, cool.
Yep. We know we could break him. He'd been beat before. You know what I'm saying? They come on, man. Come on, man. I threw a softball in my last video when I talked about Spence in a Boost situation. It was softball. I know deep down this dude ain't about to get Boost no shot. IBF gonna have to make that happen for Jerron Ennis. Point blank period. And then we go see what Errol Spence really do. You know what I'm saying? We go see.
Yeah. And me and you argue about Spence and Bud every day. I'm a Bud fan, but I sympathize with certain things. I feel like why is Bud still signing with Top Rank when he wants all the fights at 47? Why is Bud crying for 50-50 when we know Spence draws more? But even with all those things, we can't act like Spence don't be moving for me. Real funny.
Yeah, that's just what it is, man. I'll break it down just like that. You know what I'm saying? Spence energy changed once he became the big fish. Once he became the big fish, he said, fuck this shit. Fuck these fans, these fights. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Fight who I want to fight.
Niggas become businessmen real quick. They wear sweater vests and pocket protectors and put their glasses on and laptop, the calculator. Real.
Oh man, they coming.
That's the nature of the beast, though. The 100 versus 100 mentality.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Wait. Salute to Ronald Finkley in the building, man. Y'all hit the like button for your boy Bushido and subscribe to my man YSM Sports Media, man. Subscribe to his channel, just great channel, man. He's gonna be taking over.
I appreciate that, man.
Mm-hmm. All day, bro. He says, what PBC? He said, what fighters? Damone Daniels says, what fighters on PBC that don't get the fights? There's no guarantees with PBC plus signings with them. Hey, I kind of agree with that one, YSM. I agree. It's not guaranteed that Bud is gonna get those fights, bro. Keith can't even get the fights right now.
Okay.
Of course, he fought Daniel Porter, but he can't even get Spence.
Let's look at this objectively, right? Okay, so no, it's not a guarantee, but you could easily put something in the paperwork. Gary Russell isn't signed to PBC. All right. So you can put something in the paperwork that states that you'll get Spence, but he's not getting those fights over at Top Rank. And apparently he wasn't happy. It's not the first time that we've heard Bud say he's not happy. So let's say you don't get Spence at Top Rank. And let's say you go over to PBC and you get Thurman and you can get Porter and you can get Danny. That's still more than what you're getting. I'm just saying. Like, you can't cry about not getting the fights and you're not doing everything in your power to get the fights. Dudes that wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao back in the day, they signed with Top Rank. How is this any different? That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a point. But my thing is this. The best thing for Bud is free agency. That's it. Free agency. Just bounce around. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he gets this Pacquiao fight. That seemed like what Bernie has been talking about. So if they get that shit cracking, beat him, then he could bounce around. But I do feel that there's a high chance that he'll go back with Top Rank.
Okay, if he bounces around with Eddie, what fights is he gonna get with Eddie?
He ain't gonna get no fights with Eddie. I'm talking about with Oscar on the zone.
Okay, what fights do Oscar got at 47-40, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Yeah, he'll go.
Come on, nah, man.
He'll go over PBC, bro.
Bro, I just see Al as having the fights for him. You got to go to where the fights are, and like you said, put it in paperwork that says you'll get this guy. Mm-hmm. They do that all the time.
Lester Stevens says PBC guys are ducking PBC guys. What's good over there?
Yo, it's funny that people say that, right? First, PBC is a TV show, not a promotional company or anything like that. But shit, let's look at did Andrade get Triple G? Andrade get Canelo? Andrade get Billy Joe Saunders in the ring? Not a proposed fight, but in the ring. No. Is Shakur Stevenson get Jamel Herring, Carl Frampton, or Oscar Valdez? No. It's not a PBC thing, man. This is just a problem.
Yeah. Really, I mean, it don't matter where a guy signed to, man. If a motherfucker don't want to fight you, they won't fight you. It don't matter what you signed to. It don't matter. You could be on the same street. Dude don't even want to look your way. You know what I'm saying? Heard Charlo. I see you, Lester Stevens. You know what I'm saying? Heard versus Charlo. What's good, King David?
What's good with you, Bushido, man? Big fan of yours, bro. I love your content, man. Love your content.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
Bro, came
salute
up
to you, bro. Salute to you, man.
Yeah, man. Came up on the LDBC, man, and they just, they be out that line, bro. So I just appreciate you out here speaking these facts, man, and you know what I mean, and really talking real boxing shit for the people that are real boxing fans.
I appreciate you, bro. For real, I appreciate that. That means a lot. When I hear stuff like that, that really means a lot, bro. That means, that really means a lot, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Conversation seems, you know what I mean? We talking about what, Earl right now and Earl decisions, or what we got going on right now? Because I was just listening to y'all, but y'all was talking about different things.
Well, we talking about just fights being made. Like, it don't matter what side of the street you on, or do it matter? You know what I'm saying? That's basically where we at right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. As far as I'm concerned, I always, as far as the side of the street argument, man, I was always one of the people who always thought that was BS. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to the side of the street, if the guys want to fight, then the fight happens. If the guys don't want to fight, then the fight don't happen. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Side of the street is just a really deflection tactic. You know what I mean? That's all it really is. Hey, fight this dude. Oh, he on the other side of the street.
Okay, hold up. Young Shorty Wop. He said Spence said he wanted Bud for undisputed, but when it's time for that, Bud don't want it. Why y'all still blaming Spence? I mean, do Spence really want it, bro? It's been 3 years.
Hold on.
3 years, dog. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of feedback on your end, King David.
For me, I'm not blaming Spence per se for this fight not happening. There's a bunch of determining factors, but I blame both of those guys for this fight not happening. Not just one. I'm not singling out one guy. Bud keeps re-signing with Bob for whatever reason, knowing that it'll be easier for the fight to happen over there with Al on TGB or PBC, whatever you want to call it. But Spence keeps putting roadblocks. It's like you don't negotiate in the public. If you want a fight to happen, you don't negotiate in the public. You don't put out no numbers if you actually want the fight to happen. So I feel like both of them dudes are playing. And if we want to see these fights, we'll stop singling out one guy and focus on both promoters and both fighters. Put pressure on both of them. Make this fight happen. Otherwise, we're not going to watch shit.
But see, here's the thing, man. And I think, this is where fans get confused, because when you say stuff like that, when you say, okay, it's both guys, and then we start talking about promotional companies and things like that. I feel like, honestly, it hasn't even gotten to that point where we could even explore the whole promotional company type thing, because of just all the roadblocks and all the deflections Earl has made so far. You know what I mean? He goes from side of the street to now he got to get 3 belts, which are all different arguments if you really think about it, to now it's 60-40, then 60-40, 70-30. It's just always a new thing. You know what I mean? So it's just like, when we start talking about, okay, let's put it on both fighters. I mean, the only person who's been trying to make a concerted effort in order to make the fight happen is Terrence Crawford.
How, King David?
Terrence Crawford showed up to an Errol Spence fight. Okay. And Errol Spence had bodyguards around him, keeping Terrence Crawford away from the ring and stuff like that. When asked, go ahead.
This no disrespect. Is that what you think he showed up for?
Yes. I mean, I don't know why you would show up to another person's fight in your division, another champion in your division. Why would you show up to that fight?
Well, he talks to Earl on the phone, so it would be no reason to show up to the fight. Why do you think that would be the reason why he showed up there?
Why do other champions show up to other champions' fights to promote a fight between the two fighters?
Yeah, I don't think that was the reason why he showed up, though.
I don't get how you would think anything else. I mean, they're not good buddies. They don't hang out really like that off. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Errol Spence came to a Terrence Crawford fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the only, Errol Spence showed up. I mean, Terrence Crawford showed up to Errol Spence fight, trying to make the fight.
I'm gonna give you, and I have to say this. His contract is up in October, so he'll be a free agent. So what would be another reason for him to show up to a Premier Boxing Champions event?
He could have showed up to any Premier Boxing Champions event. Why Errol Spence?
I'm trying to say it without saying it.
You trying to say it without saying? You gonna have to say it, because I'm not following where you're going.
I believe he had a meeting with someone.
But why have a meeting at an Errol Spence fight is the question. There's so many PBC events.
He's there. That particular person would be in town. He's throwing the event.
Okay, but yet and still, you didn't answer the question. There are a lot of PBC events that take place throughout the year. He didn't have to show up at an Errol Spence PBC.
No, he didn't have to. But if that was where the meeting was taking place, and mind you, this isn't the only meeting that particular person has had with a promotional outfit, and you're making me, divulge certain things that I don't want to say on camera.
It's gonna have to come to that, because we're gonna.
Yeah, but he's put it like this. From what I've been told from people who have seen him, that There's another guy from across the pond that he's talked to, and the guy from America that he's had a conversation. Which all makes sense. You have to preview your options. But that's the reason why I think he went down. I don't think he just up and decided with no negotiations that, hey, I'm going to see what's up with Earl. No, I don't see that happening.
Hey, hold on. Let me salute to Ronald Finkley for the $2 super chat, and salute to my man Bro Horace for the $10 super chat. Man, appreciate you guys.
Okay.
But yeah, let me see some of these comments. He said, "Y'all tripping. A fight will happen. It will be for undisputed. One more belt to grab. Why y'all acting like the fight won't happen?"
I think the fight will happen. That's me. I have faith.
I
don't know about that, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if the fight's gonna happen. I don't have a whole lot of faith in it because, again, the agenda keeps changing. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's 3 belts. First it was side of the street. First it was get a belt. Then it was side of the street. Now it's 3 belts. It's like, there's no insurance there. You know what I'm saying? We can't take Errol's word at face value. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how fans out there feel like they can, because Errol continues to change the narrative every single every chance he gets. So it's like, okay, now it's 3 belts. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, what is it gonna be next? It's gonna be 90-10. I mean, we really don't know. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that. Like, we really don't know what the case is gonna be.
There's only one guy to talk to, and it's not Errol. So he has to make that particular person have a vested interest in him. And how you do that is you sign.
Okay, well, I mean, if that's the case, you know what I mean, because you mentioning that guy, Keith Thurman also wants to fight with Errol Spence. Now, granted, Keith Thurman doesn't have a belt right now, but Keith Thurman wants to fight, and Errol told the world that he was not fighting Keith Thurman. He just said it flat out. He's never fighting Keith Thurman. So, with that said, you know what I mean? It's up to Errol at the end of the day. It all goes right back to Errol. What he wants to do, if he wants to make the fight happen or not.
All right, so contractually, right? There's certain things that people can do. Like, okay, so if you don't take a fight with Bob that he don't want you that he wants you to take, what does Bob do, Shido?
Say it again.
I said, if you don't take a fight with Bob that Bob wants you to take, what does Bob do to you?
Oh, he'll put you on ice. Yeah, he'll put you on ice.
Now, I'm not saying that would happen, but there are certain things that real, like, powerful entities like Al Heyman and Bob can do to either persuade you to take a fight. Now, right now, the Keith fight really isn't worth that much to Al because Keith's coming off of a loss and hasn't fought in 2 years.
Okay.
So I would think that they would. That may not, just because Keith wants it right now. Al may want Keith to get a tune-up, get 2 tune-ups, and then revisit. So I'm not sure on that situation. Even if Keith's coming back, I don't know. But I haven't, from what I've been told, and because I've never spoken to Al. But from what I've been told, any promise that he's given to somebody, it always happens. It may not happen right away, but it always happens.
Hold up. Let me read some of these comments. Ronald Finkley says the illusion of Spence believing he's a pay-per-view star because of one state boggles me. Spence can box, but Ugas won't guarantee anything. No, it won't. Ugas won't guarantee anything at all. It's just it's an easier fight. And, I mean, that's just what it is.
Dude be acting like he pulling out M's, yo. The way he be talking, the way he was talking to Boots, it was like he's selling a $1.5 million each joint. Like, bro, you sold 250,000.
Yeah. He kind of blew his head up a bit there. But hold up, Damone Daniel says here, with the Wilder Fury situation, does contracts matter? I mean, Wilder was clearly guaranteed a rematch, and it hasn't been honored.
Just Just wait till the beginning of May.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see
That's
what
right.
happens there. I also have a rebuttal to that too, and that's a great argument too with Wilder Fury and everything. The fact of the matter is, if you have, you know, and a lot of these dudes, they make Earl to seem like he this pay-per-view star and all this stuff, man. So we're gonna play into that narrative for a second. If Earl is doing the kind of numbers that a lot of his fans claim that he's doing, would it really be in Al Heyman's best interest to go against what Errol Spence wants? Like, of course, as a promoter or a manager, you can pressure your fighter to do what you want them to do, but at what cost? You know what I mean? So, I mean, would Al or Bob, if he was managing a fighter of Errol's selling power, would they really risk going against their fighter in order to maintain that relationship? Like, even look at Oscar and Canelo. And Canelo's on a much bigger scale, you know what I'm saying? But if you look at how that relationship went down, you know what I'm saying, where Oscar was trying to force Canelo to fight. I believe he was trying to get him to fight Charlo. You know what I mean? And Canelo wasn't trying to fight him. Canelo was trying to do his own thing and take his own route. And he completely went against Oscar. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's what I mean. You know, there's a lot of examples of fighters, you know, they have the power. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, promoter can force the situation, but if the fighter don't want to make the fight, especially if they're a star and they do numbers, you know, they ain't fighting nobody they don't want to fight. But I get where you're coming from, promotion being able
I
to
mean,
fight.
you make a good point. Like, would Al go against it? But there's other ways to persuade a guy without having this sit out. Like, I know in Al's contracts, you can't sign with a promoter or take a fight without his okay. Right? You basically, like, he holds the leverage in that instant. But what's to say if let's say the Bud fight? Oh, I don't want to fight him. And Spence's minimum is 5. So okay, I'll give you 10. Okay, I'll give you 12. There are ways to incentivize fighters to take fights. It's just that Bob gets in trouble because Bob don't want to put no extra cheese on your taco. The taco was bland. You know what I'm saying?
That's one hell
Your
of a
taco was
goddamn
basic.
analogy right there.
Because it's the truth, though. Like, Eddie will put extra cheese on your taco. Oscar put some cheese on your taco. Al will give you some sour cream, some guacamole. You know what I'm saying? Bob, nah, you just get a plain joint.
That's true, bro. We gotta be honest. Bob a little tight, man. He needs to start putting the bag up for some of these bigger fights. We do got to be real about that. You know what I'm saying? Entice Spence with more money. You know what I'm saying?
Bushido, I feel Bob to a certain degree because here's Bob's logic. Bob's logic is when you go, like, if he's looking at fights and he's looking at what the fights can generate, and he's doing the numbers in his head, and he's saying, well, this ain't gonna do nothing but this, so I'm only willing to pay this. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to lose money on any of these fights. So I get where Bob is coming from to a certain degree with what he says. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, you got guys like Keith Thurman and guys demanding $10 million and stuff like that to fight Terrence Crawford. And it's like, if you're Bob Arum, you're like, well, this fight is only going to do this. You know what I mean? Like, why would I pay this guy $10 million for a fight that I'm going to lose money on? Like, Al Heyman, I guess he has a special model where he's able to make money, you know, in ways that a lot of these other promoters can't. But I get where Bob is coming from with what he's saying. You know what I mean?
Damone Daniel says, so if Bud and Manny does fight and do huge numbers, does that give Bud leverage in negotiations with Spence?
Yes.
I think so. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
That makes it 50-50.
You say that makes it official 50-50?
If he does 400,000 to 500,000 with Manny Pacquiao, now he'll get 50-50. because it's all about the money. That belt shit is overrated. Like, oh, I have 3 belts. Yeah, ask Triple G how much they could.
What if he goes in there with Sean Porter and does 300?
Wait, hold on. Let me read the super chat.
Then
Salute to Damone Danes for the $5 super chat. He says Sean Porter is crying for the Bud fight, but why does he just exercise his mandatory with Bud if he really wants to fight? Why not just do that?
Because then he'll have to take the 75-25 split.
Yep. He'll have to take the low ball. So that's why he's trying to, wait it out. Because at the end of the day, if he wants to fight a guy like Terrence Crawford, he's gonna want the most he can get out of it. Let's just be honest. Terrence Crawford is a tough night out. And you taking a 25% is something that a guy like Dorian Ennis will likely have to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not Sean Porter. So
that's a prospect cut.
Right. But so we got to be kind of reasonable with the business and shit. Like Sean Porter's, you can't kind of do him like that. But you know what I'm saying?
I feel you. But if you Terrence Crawford, you looking at Sean Porter like, man, this guy got 3 losses, no belt, and he's a tough fight. So you like, is this what I, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't going out of my way to fight this dude. If he in the way, I'll fight him. But if not, I ain't running towards him. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it from Terrence.
Same way with Boots. I'm not, if I'm Bud or Spence, just thinking about this selfishly, I'm not fighting that kid.
Yeah.
I don't work my way all the way up to the Manny Pacquiao's, the Keith Thurmans, the Terrence Crawfords, the Errol Spences. Like, I'm in that, like, air. I'm not reaching back and fighting no fucking 23-year-old killer that's not making that much a fight. I'm sitting comfortable. That kid's going to try to kill me, yo. And it sounds crazy, but Sean Porter gave you a window into how the older champion established fighter thinks. It's not worth it.
Kyle, we didn't say Porter was ducking nobody, but that's why he probably likely isn't exercising his mandatory, because he'll have to take the low ball. You know what I'm saying? It won't be nothing where he can kind of negotiate to get something. You know what I'm saying? So that's why.
But I heard didn't they do like a guarantee with Sean where it was like $2 million he was guaranteed, and then he would get a percentage of the pay-per-views or something like that, and he turned it down too?
I don't know about any numbers, but them Al Heyman dudes, bro, they make more like $2 million to fight Terrence Crawford. That's a low ball. He can get $2 million to fight Sebastian Formella.
Well, it's $2 million plus pay-per-view back in. So I mean, you know what I mean, he probably at the end of it will be making like $4-5 million, you know what I mean, at the end of it. You know what I mean, if you're Sean Porter, that's not bad.
From my knowledge, that back end money that PBC fighters talk about and that fans that don't like them troll about is very real.
I mean, we just don't know about it. I don't know. We can't speak on that. We don't know about it. You know what I mean?
No, I can only speak about what somebody told me about specifically what they get and how they get it.
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead. What you were saying?
No, I don't even want to say how. The IRS might be listening, but
always.
From what they say, it's a very real thing. And when explained to me how, it makes sense. If we was having a conversation on the phone, I would just tell them. But yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that's part of the reason why we're not getting some of these fights. A lot of these fighters, they getting paid X amount of money, and it's like if you go over to another promotional company, you ain't making that kind of money. So it's just you don't want to fight. That's is what we get in all of, and it's the same old story over and over again with these dudes.
Yeah,
low blow champ. Yeah, I mean, you really, I don't really trust it. I don't really believe a lot of these pay-per-view numbers, honestly. I don't really believe them. Now, something like the Jake Paul fight, I believe that probably could have did like $1 million or something. I believe that. But
I believe his is inflated, so I think they all pump it up.
Yeah, they pump it up. But
it's sad that Jake Paul's doing 1 million pay-per-view buys,
bro.
But it's not even. It's a concert. It's like it's a comedy show. It's like 4 different things.
Yeah, let's close this out with Triller real quick, and then because I gotta get shut it down a little bit. But what's your thoughts on the King David, the Triller?
Okay, Triller, like just the network in general, or what?
Just period. What are your thoughts on it?
I like Triller as a promotional like platform. I like them. I like how they promote their shows. I like that they pay their fighters well and everything like that. I think Triller is a nice little up and coming, black sheep pulling up to boxing, like, with the money and ready for the smoke. So I like the idea of Triller being around, bidding on some of these fights that we can't get done because, you got one promotional company that want to pay fighters super high, and then you got another promotional company that want to pay fighters much, much lower, based on like real, straight expense versus what they're making, very fundamental principles. So I like Triller as a network, and they're doing really good numbers. They clearly know how to promote their fights. Jake Paul and Logan Paul and these dudes doing over 1 million pay-per-view numbers. Like, that's crazy. Ain't nobody in boxing doing 1 million right now. Not even Canelo. You know what I mean? So
right.
So it's crazy what they doing. All you could really do is give them props, and if you're smart and you're a promotional company and you're looking at that, you need to follow whatever the hell they're doing and try to mimic that to a certain degree.
Right. Yep. Says, yep. 1.3 million, 1.3 pay-per-view buys is what they saying they got. So I mean, that's good for a washed-up MMA fighter and a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Putting up a fight and shit. That's crazy. But salute to you, bro, for stepping in and coming here and conversating with your boy. I appreciate you.
Oh man, no, I appreciate you having me on, my guys. I always see you go live, man. I always be looking to chop it up with you if I ever see you, because I appreciate your content, man. And for the real boxing fans out there who really follow the sport and know what they're talking about, versus a lot of these other dudes out here just spreading their agenda and shit like that, like COVID. You know what I mean? It's literally what it is. It's spreading their agenda like COVID. So appreciate you, man, Bushido, for having me on, my guy. And you too, YSM, man. It's good chopping it up with you, man. I like the way you think, my guy. You're very you're very quick-witted, man. If I ever, if we ever have any kind of debate, I see it got to come more than correct. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate you too.
Yeah, man. But I definitely appreciate you, bro. And I should appreciate everybody in the building. Hit that like button on your way out. I'm out of here.